This gun is made in Industrias Santa Bárbara in Ecuador. This is an Ecuadorian-made handgun. It's a clone of a Smith & Wesson Model 10. It's one of the basic Smith & Wesson 38 special handguns. It's blue steel, and you open the cylinder by pushing, as opposed to the Colt. The Colt you pull. And the other difference between the Smith & Wesson and the Colt is that the cylinder here turns this way, counterclockwise. If you're looking at it, in the Colt, the cylinder turns the other way. It turns this way, clockwise. That's basically the difference between a Colt and a Smith & Wesson. But be that as it may, okay, this is a Smith & Wesson clone. So anyway, so the cylinder turns this way. And how do you know which way the cylinder turns? Because it has the little notch here. Little notch, see that little notch? Now look at the cylinder. It turns towards the notch. It turns towards the notch. See? It turns towards the notch. Now, when you put the rounds in there, you know, you always open up. Never do this. Never do this. You know, this cowboy thing. You always take the gun, push it, and with 2 fingers push it through and hold it like that. Okay, and then you put the bullets in, and then you never do this one-hand flip that they do in Hollywood. That's not good for the gun.
Prematurely wearing the gun.
Yes, so just push it in and close it normally. And then sometimes when you close it, it's in the middle, like here. So make sure it clicks into place. And what happens is when you fire, you pull this back, the cylinder turns and puts the next round in the firing pin, so it fires. If you, let's say for some reason at all, you want to have an empty chamber, which is not recommended, but some people in the old style, they like to have an empty chamber because the hammer rests on an empty chamber. But here, there's no problem, because if you see here, there's no hammer protruding. There's no hammer. It doesn't make any difference. But if you wanted to do that, you want to rest. The empty chamber should be in line with the hammer at the time. Therefore, when you pull the gun, when you pull the trigger or you pull the hammer back, the new cartridge, a new bullet comes into line up, and then it can fire. Okay, so. And another thing is, with the revolver, is there's no safety on the revolver. Not at all. None. No safety. There's 2 ways to fire it. Double action. This is double action. This is double action. When you pull the trigger and the hammer comes back, and then it releases. And that's the normal way to fire a revolver. The other way, if you want to fire in a very, long distance or whatever, then you pull the hammer back, and it's ready to fire. It's going to fire on the cylinder that's there. It's no longer turning to fire. You're going to fire whatever round you have in this particular cylinder lined up with the barrel, and you fire it, and it becomes really almost like a hair trigger. Just almost like a hair trigger. Now this one has the second stage here. Okay, so it has a second stage. Okay, this second stage normally does not exist in American revolvers. This second stage. So, and sometimes it's, you see, there you go. See, that's second stage. So normally now I can't repeat it.
As it gets broken in.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, so make sure. Another thing is, if you have the trigger pressed and you want to pull back on the hammer, it does not turn the cylinder. It does not turn the cylinder. In order for it to turn the cylinder, you have to release the trigger and then pull back, and then it turns the cylinder. See, you have to release the trigger, then pull back on the hammer, it'll turn the cylinder. But if I hold the trigger back, I pull the hammer, it doesn't turn it. That's something you need to know. Okay. So if you have a round here which for some reason didn't fire, you just go to the next one. That's one of the nice things about a revolver, that if you have a round that's bad or a primer that's too wet or bad, and it didn't fire, in a semi-automatic, you have a malfunction. You have to tap, rack, bang, eject, load a new, it takes a while. Here, didn't fire, pull again. The next one will fire, right away. That's the nice thing about a revolver. It's simple, nothing, okay? So, now here is the speed loader. Now, these are called lead round nose bullets. These are the bullets that they use normally here in Ecuador, and they're not very effective. These bullets are not very effective against, stopping somebody instantly. And you put them in there like this, yeah, and then you twist, and it's loaded, six rounds loaded. Okay. What's going on here? Why did this not go in? Maybe the round is too fat. Let me get the other rounds out. And this one, there you go. It jumped out. Why is it? Oh, it's got a little burr here. Okay.
No,
that's why you have to check all the rounds. Check all the rounds. If the other ones don't have a burr, it goes in nicely. So each round has to fit in nicely. Okay. Another thing. Okay, and this is the Model 10 speed loader. See, it says 10 there. That's this Model 10, which is the appropriate one for this cylinder. That's why I say it's a Model 10. Now, here's another one. Now, these are lead hollow points. These are more effective because they mushroom when they hit bone or they hit flesh. They kind of mushroom, and the stopping effect is better than a lead round nose than these. These lead round nose bullets, they don't mushroom. They go straight through. Problem with these, you go straight through, you can hit somebody innocent behind. You don't know where the bullet is going. With the hollow points, at least, it stop in the body and expend all the energy of the round inside the bad guy. And this is another a type of speed loader. It's a safari speed loader. You put it in there. And then you press here, but it's not, this one is not made, it's not made for this. No, this one is not made for this gun because it's hidden here. So this is the most effective round. See, this is the lead hollow point. It's got a post in the middle. See, it kind of mushrooms and it still has a post. This one here, this is the one that fits fine. See, look how easy, just boom, right there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that's what these are the good rounds. And this in my opinion is safer because you don't have to worry about so much about the bullet going down range if you hit somebody. With this one, you hit somebody, goes right through, goes down range. You don't know where it's going to hit.
Yeah.
But in Ecuador, they like to use these because they see these are dumb bullets and they're evil, they say. They don't have the experience or the knowledge to really realize that these in the end, these are safer. If you're going to shoot somebody because the bad guy's going to kill you, you want to stop him. Not necessarily kill him. You want to stop what he's doing.
Yeah.
And this will stop him much more than the round nose, the other one. So that's
that
it.
speed loader make was a
this one?
yeah.
It's called HKS 10. HKS 10.
Okay.
HKS H.K.S.
Good. That's the one I'll order.
This is the one you need. Yeah, get a couple.
All right.
They're not very expensive at all. They're like maybe $10 or
It's
something.
old school technology.
Yeah, but it
Big
works.
tracer.
Works
Yeah.
fine. Works fine.
Yeah.
So now the gun, see, there's one round left in there. Always check the rounds. Easy to leave a round in there. And then to empty the gun, you always turn it around, put finger in here, turn around, and just go like this several times, and then turn around and check that they're all empty, because sometimes if you put one in there and it gets stuck, you don't realize it, and you lock it in, and you still have a loaded round in there, and you may not see it. Always make sure you check.
Okay.
Especially if you get busy. Now, one thing: don't ever fire the gun like this. Don't ever fire the gun holding it like this, because here, see that gap, that little gap there between the barrel, this, and the cylinder, there's a gap. I don't know if you can see that. It's tiny light there.
Yep.
Right there.
Spent gas.
Okay, that gas, when you fire it, that's going to spit out sideways, going to burn your hands. Burn your hand. In fact, one of the demonstrations that we do in firearms school is to put a piece